Mm. Let's see if we got the sound now. What is going on with that? Make sure it's plugged in the back as well. Okay, we got sound now. All right, let's go on and run the intro again. Let's run that again so everybody can hear. We sorry, y'all.
Worst day of the week. Day of the week.
It's gonna be a good day, even on my worst day. Nothing makes me smile more than hanging with my family. LOLs and good times, yeah, that's how we mob it. No filters on the real is. Say something getting poppin'. Laughing is good for the soul. Keep it 100, yeah, you already know. Not Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but the worst day of the week. It's not Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but the worst day of the week. Yeah.
Worst day of the week. Day of the week.
Worst day of the week. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Worst day of the week. Worst day of the week is live, y'all. Uh-oh. There's an echo. I hear some sound. Maybe it's the Bluetooth. Turn the Bluetooth down all the way down. Uh-huh. Is it down? Because I hear it still. Okay. Let's do it. Worst day of the week is all the way live, y'all. You hear echo? Okay. We're going to get right into the show, y'all. The news you can use. Remember, the news you can use is not what I say. It's not what worst day of the week says. It is strictly just the news that you can use. I think it's me. The news that you can use is strictly just what it is. What is that? Okay. Remember, the ex-wife of Jeff Bezos, he's the current CEO of Amazon. His wife, Mackenzie Scott, donated more than $130 million to a handful of historically black colleges and universities. The Black Girl Magic Museum has opened up in Mesquite, Texas. Yes, it has. That's beautiful. That's wonderful. Russia is said to be behind a massive cyber attack on U.S. federal government agencies. The president of the United States, President Trump, has abandoned the day-to-day running of the government. That's reported by CNN. President-elect Joe Biden and his wife, Dr. Jill Biden, received COVID-19 vaccinations on today. The second round of stimulus checks have been approved. You can expect to receive about $600 from the $900 billion COVID relief fund. $900 billion. They're going to give me $600. Oh, my goodness, y'all. That was the news you can use. We're going to get right into the show. I do have a special guest on today. I'm going to make sure that we got our sound right. Everybody in the studio got their phones volume turned all the way down. Yes, and there's something over here. They said, I'm going to make sure. Y'all, welcome to Worst Day of the Week. I do have a special guest in the studio on today. I am going to welcome my special guest right now. And that special guest is going to be none other than Sheila Lowe. Y'all send up some hearts. We are so happy to have you, Miss Sheila. How you doing? You doing well? Let's get our mic. Get that sound all the way up, please. Thank you so much. Is that better?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
There we go.
Perfect. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It's this. Get this away from me. It's this. I don't know why the volume won't go off. Thank you. Thank you so much. Put it in the room far, far away from me. Thank you. Welcome, Sheila. How you doing? Sorry about those technical difficulties. Sorry about that. Welcome to Worst Day of the Week. So happy to have you here today. 10 years, such a long time has gone by since you've lost your baby boy, Steven Govan.
Actually, it's 9 years.
It's 9 years. I'm so sorry. 9 years. I can't add. I went to Lancaster. You got to forgive me.
I think I did the same thing on Facebook last
Yeah.
week. I said 10. It's,
Yes, 9 years, still a long time. If you could describe your life right now in one word, what would that one word be, and why would you choose that one word?
Peace.
Peace.
I have learned over the years how to grasp that peace,
Yes.
and that peace has to come within.
Mm-hmm.
And by knowing who God is,
Yes.
what God is about,
Mm-hmm.
that gives me that sense of peace. I have not always been like that.
Yeah.
Took me some time to learn.
Mm-hmm.
There have been people in my life over the years that have taught me, that have shown me the way. Prior to Stephen being murdered, my kids were in church. I was in church.
Mm-hmm.
They were baptized. They knew who the Lord was, or the Lord is, because I still have a daughter.
Yes.
So with that being said, God has really worked on me.
Yes.
And he still is. I'm not perfect.
Not perfect.
I still have my days.
Mm-hmm.
I still have my moments. I'm still a flesh.
Yeah. Okay. Is there? Let's talk about the murder of your son. Very, very tragic murder of your son. What happened to your recollection? What happened with your son?
This happened on a Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So I would recall Stephen going out. He went out that Saturday night. He didn't come in till Sunday morning. Actually, I had his sister call, or I had Bria call him and tell him to come on and eat dinner Sunday.
Okay.
So any other time, Steve would be like, okay, I'm on my way. It'll
Mm-hmm.
take him about an hour or so. But for some reason, this day, he came right on.
Yeah.
So we had Sunday dinner. We talked. We laughed. Mind you, this is, 7 days before Christmas. So everybody's talking about what they want.
Yeah.
They both want new cars. And I'm like, okay, what kind of car you want?
Yeah.
And, and it was, I can look back now and tell you we were in my bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
And both of them were laying at the end of the bed. And I can just see angels
Mm-hmm.
flying in the room. It was just a peace.
Yeah.
It was just peace because they were laughing, they were talking, and they were telling me about things they did when they were younger that I didn't know anything about. And I'm like, okay, so you guys kept these kind of secrets. Okay. Good. Sister,
My mama hates those.
Okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. So Stephen gets a call, and I remember him telling me, Mom, I'm going to go check on my cousin.
Mm-hmm.
And I won't reveal that person's name because at this day and time still, I feel like he has information that could have helped in the process.
Mm-hmm.
So he leaves the house, and it was just something. Before he left the house, I had a flat.
Mm-hmm.
So he changed my flat for me. My husband at the time paid him for changing my flat.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I'll be back. I'll see you in a little bit. But for some reason, I called Stephen because I forgot to say something to him or tell him something.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't answer. That's not like Stephen not to answer or call back or text back or say, Mom, give me a few minutes.
Yeah.
So by this time, this had to be after 3 o'clock,
Mm-hmm.
3:30, 3:20. I remember a 3:21 p.m. for some reason that stood out in my head.
Mm-hmm.
So by this time, I have a friend that's posted on Facebook, and she's posting about a car that had been found in the Glen Oaks area off of Ledbetter,
Mm-hmm.
and it had been torched. So I just got fixated on that story.
Mm-hmm.
And Steven, I call him back, and I'm like, okay. So I go and I ask Bria, I said, have you talked to Steven? She said, no. So then I called his dad, and I said, look, I said, something wrong. I said, Steven's not calling back. I said, can you go over here and look at this car? Because I said something about this car. Mind you, I had a friend that's a detective, and I said, what kind of car is it?
Mm-hmm.
It was just like a gut feeling.
Yeah.
Because anybody that has a child, you're going to have a special bond with that child.
Mm-hmm.
Steven was my first. That was my learning experience.
Yeah.
That's who grew me up. By the time Bria was born, I was a woman then.
Mm-hmm.
I was a girl when I had him. I was a woman then. So we get to the point where Steven's dad goes over to Glen Oaks. They tell him, no, it was a white kind of car, you
Yeah.
know. We don't know what happened. It was white. The detective friend had called me back. He got in touch with the person that was handling the case, which was Detective Thompson. So he asked me, Detective Thompson he said, why do you think this is your son? I said, something's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I said, because it's not like my son not to call me back. And I said, that kind of looks like his car.
Mm.
So he said, well, what's the VIN number? By this time, I've already looked at the insurance card and gave him the VIN number and all like that, because I've checked phone records to see what time the last call went out, call came in. So I'm really on that motherly,
Yeah.
gut feeling.
Your mother's intuition.
So when I give Detective Thompson the VIN number,
Mm-hmm.
he says, I'm going to call you back in a few. Give me a little time, I'll call you back. So I could hear it in his voice.
Yeah.
So when he called back, it's probably, maybe later that evening. But by that time, everybody's like, well, why you think this is Steven? His grandmother, that's not Steve. Everybody is telling me no. When I know, this is my child.
Mm-hmm.
This is my child. I know, because my child still had not called me back in those hours.
Mm-hmm.
So we get to the point where Detective Thompson eventually calls back. And he says, can you do me a favor? And I said, yes. He said, I need to come talk to you.
Mm.
I said, no. I said, don't knock on my motherfucking door.
Mm. Yeah.
I said, so what do you need from me?
Mm-hmm.
He asked me to bring down Steven's dental records, and then if I had a key to his car.
Mm.
So by then, that was, late in the evening. This is about 7. Everybody's knowing. You got people, talking about it. And I can't tell you, only God can tell you that I knew.
Yeah.
I knew.
Mm-hmm.
There was, even though we raise our children, we're supposed to raise them up right, teach them, about the Bible, take them to church. And I felt like I did all I could, because I questioned myself for a long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I did what I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
But once they get grown and they go their way,
Mm-hmm.
you can't never say what your child won't do. But the one thing that stood out for me was that one person that he called his brother,
Mm-hmm.
that I fed, that stayed with me, that, summertime, my house was the house.
Mm-hmm.
When that detective called him, he told him, don't call his motherfucking phone no more.
Mm.
And all the detective was, Detective Thompson just wanted a time frame from when Steven went to his house. Mind you, we know he went to his house because I know Steven talked to him, because he asked me to send 2 plates of what I had cooked.
Mm-hmm. And you sent the plates by Steven.
I sent the 2 plates.
Mm. Let's talk about that. The upbringing. I know you personally. You are my friend. I call you friend. You were my very first property management job. Was in Charleston Village in Dallas, Texas, and I was there for about 3.5, 4 years. before I moved to Houston. But I know you. I feel like I know you. I know you might like a little wine, little Patron. I don't know you to smoke marijuana. I don't know you to pop any kind of pills. I don't know you to do cocaine, any kind of drug. I don't know of you doing any kind of drug. But when I watched the first 48 episode, it said that Steven was going to sell drugs. And then, most of the time when kids do things, it's a learned behavior. Right. It's something that they saw, whether it be the rappers that they heard on the radio or whatever, but most of the time they got an uncle or their parents or somebody is doing that. I know you just said you can't say what your child do, what they grown, what they they won't do, what they will do, what they ain't did. And I know my mama can attest to that. But what is it like hearing that your son was going to make a drug deal? This was a drug deal gone bad. What is that? What do you hear when you hear that? What do you feel?
Well, when it first came up, it was to me it was not believable.
Mm-hmm.
But let me clear one thing up. Mm-hmm. Steven's dad did not sell drugs.
Right.
So let's get that straight for one.
Mm-hmm.
His father, Eric, did not sell drugs.
Okay.
So that did come up
mm-hmm.
because one of the defendant's mothers put that out there. He did not do that.
Okay.
Now, the people Steven surrounded himself with that he called his friends, his brothers, and stuff like that, maybe so.
Yeah.
I can attest to one for sure. Is that something that he learned outside of the upbringing in the household? Yes. Steven loved to play parlay. Mm-hmm. Mind you, he had just hit on the parlay Saturday, Saturday. So hey, that was a behavior that his family liked to give.
Yeah.
They play dominoes. They gonna shoot dice.
Mm-hmm.
They gonna play parlay. Mm-hmm. That's just that side of the family likes to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so no. Prior to this, never smoked weed. Mm-hmm. Never popped a pill. Never snorted nothing. I was a drinker.
Yes.
Now after this happened, I became an alcoholic.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Did I take pills? Yes, prescribed.
Wow.
But you do that to cope.
Mm-hmm.
But then you learn that's not a coping mechanism. That's something they're giving you just to get through life with this void. So you have to learn to do other things to get through life. So I had to stop myself because alcoholism runs on my mother's side. Mm-hmm. So when I saw myself becoming my mother,
yes,
I had to stop.
Mm.
So accepting them saying that my son was a drug dealer, that's something I had to accept. That's something I can't take back. If that's what it was, that's what it was. But at the same time, again, unless he was robbing you or you were defending yourself, you had no right to take his
correct.
life, and you had no right to take Jonathan's life.
Yes.
And that's I put Jonathan in there because they died together.
Yes.
Now, $209.
Wow.
100 of that was probably from the tire that he changed. I'm sure the parlay money, I don't know if they found it, if it burned up in the car, I don't know. Because Stephen was a good person that he would hide his money.
Yeah.
I know Jonathan had some money on him. But was it worth it?
Let's talk about Steven a little bit. Steven was a star basketball player in high school. He graduated from Lincoln High School in Dallas. His basketball number 3, graduated in 2010. What is it like when you see the trophies, you hear the accomplishments, and you remember the games, you remember how just him being around. How do you get through those tough days? How do you get through those?
The tough days, or when they're bad, they're bad. And when they're tears, now they're tears of good memories. They used to be tears of sorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure, I get different versions of this when I consult pastors or deacons of, we all have a day and time to go.
Yeah.
And one deacon told me, he said, yes, we have a day and time to go, but it's not of God how we go. That's of the devil. So I don't know how true that is. I need to read more into it. That's just what I've been told. But getting through a day without thinking about Stephen, that's impossible. Because whether it's somebody that knows Stephen,
Yeah.
or I drive by a place that Stephen has been, or it's something I see that I know he would like, or looking at his son. And Stephen was a natural athlete.
Yeah.
He played football, he played baseball, he excelled at basketball. And I think one of the things is that he didn't want to get hit in football.
Yeah.
So, hey, that's, it is a tough thing to deal with as a mother, because every mother that has lost a child have a different relationship with their child.
Yeah.
So everybody's feelings will not be the same.
Right.
Again, I tell people, people always say, well, time will heal. It doesn't. You learn to deal with that void in your life.
Yeah.
You learn to deal with that person not answering their phone, or that person not saying, hey, mama, what you doing? Or that person not being at home, or mama, what did you cook? You just learn to deal with it.
How long was it before you realized that Stephen was really gone? Before you stopped calling the phone so you can hear his voice and listen to the voicemail. When you cleaned out, some old things. How long was it before you accepted that fact? And then was there like a moment? Was there something that happened where you said, I have to do this to help me heal?
I haven't had that moment yet. His cell phone is still on.
Wow.
I still have all his trophies, medals. His grandmother has a room still with all his trophies and medals. He started playing sports at 5, so I haven't gotten to that moment yet.
Wow.
So like I said, the cell phone is still on. I still set up a room with his trophies and everything, so. And I got to the point, I think it was 2017, if I recall. My husband just told me about it, where I didn't want to go down to the site anymore. Me and Jonathan's mom discussed that about our families, because that's not where our sons are. That's where they were dumped. Like they were trash, but that's not where they are. And both of us talking, we know where both of our sons are. Despite whatever they were doing prior to the incident of them being murdered, we know we raised them in the church. We know they knew who God was. They accepted him. And then as far as Stephen goes, one of the last things Stephen did was drop to his knees and pray before he was shot in the head. So it took me a long time to accept that, because I didn't understand that. You looking at somebody praying, but you still shoot them in the head. And then you tell them, oh, I played basketball with him. So you're not even knowing who this is prior. But it didn't matter. And I know I'm getting a little bit off the subject.
Oh, no. You're fine.
Because as we go through this investigation, DPD do their investigation, and you have the DA, they do their investigation. We find out, Stephen and Jonathan had spent Saturday together, chilling, whatever they doing, But on camera, what you see is them smiling, laughing, joking, speaking to people.
Yeah.
At Big T, they doing their thing.
Yeah.
Then we come to the realization that the defendant, one of them, Daryl Dodson, had already decided he was going to kill somebody anyway.
Yeah.
So it didn't have to necessarily be our sons. It was going to be whoever he thought he could get some money out of.
Wow.
So then you ask yourself, why me?
Mm-hmm.
And I had to keep asking myself for the longest, and then I had to answer myself, why not?
Mm.
Because he didn't belong to me. He was on loan to me.
Yeah.
And that's where we mess up, or we don't understand when God is telling us, have your child, raise your child the way I want you to raise them, because you're not gonna have them for always. They're on loan.
Yeah.
They don't belong to us.
Stephen has you have one daughter, one other child, one daughter, Bria. Hey Bria, and Stephen also had two other siblings. He had another brother, and he had a brother and another sister.
Well, Stephen actually has Bria.
Mm-hmm.
He has a brother named Lil Eric,
Mm-hmm.
and then we have Erica, and then he has a brother named Wayne.
Oh, okay.
So on his dad's side, he has 3 other siblings,
Okay.
and then just Bria with me.
So you have Bria, and how is it raising? I'm not well. Still having your daughter, and having that void where your son was, and their relationship that they had, their strong bond, their brother and sister love, that they have for each other. How is it watching your daughter grow, and continue on with her life, missing her brother? How is it? How is that?
It's hard because Bria and Steve were closer than I even thought.
Mm-hmm.
I knew they used to fuss and fight as kids, and she used to always think she could beat him up and stuff like that. But once that happened, she lost her best friend.
Yeah.
She lost her best friend. They are 2 totally different people, so I had to learn that their personalities are different, and it's hard for her.
Yeah.
I know it's hard for her to look at his son. I know it's hard for her to look at her son now that she has a son, because now he doesn't get to meet his uncle.
Yeah.
And then her nephew has to grow up without a father.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the only reasons I am still here today is because of Bria.
Mm.
Because I can tell you can get to that dark space, and I understand when people say they want to commit suicide or when they get there, because the devil can take you so down and let you think that you are so useless and you don't need to be here.
Wow.
You get to that dark space and you can say, you know what, Lord, forgive me, but I'm finna do this. And then, but he'll slap you upside your head and say, you know better.
Yeah.
You know better. And I knew better. I was brought up better. I've had worse done to me than losing my son.
Wow.
I'd rather have that done than to lose my son.
What are some ways that you can think about that your family or friends would have been there to support you more than maybe that they didn't? Maybe like people that reached out but didn't reach out. What are some ways that people did not support you during the loss of your son?
I don't think there was a moment where I thought that.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I had to realize also. People have their own lives.
Mm-hmm.
Life goes on.
Yeah.
So if I'm standing in a crowded mall, I'm the only one in that mall, but then I see 1,000 people around me. Nobody knows what's going on in my life but me.
Yeah.
So they're moving on with their lives. So I don't fault anybody for not reaching out, not doing what they felt like they should, because I know in spirit, in their hearts, they were praying for us. They prayed for me. They prayed for Steven. They prayed for Bree. That's all you can do at that time, because nobody has an answer. No words that you give me is going to comfort me at that time.
Yes.
Or even comfort me at this time. The only thing that comforts me is knowing that God has me every day. Every day that I wake up, he has me.
Yes.
And I do appreciate everybody, all the love. I mean, people from Stephen went to school in Mississippi. He
Mm-hmm.
had friends from Africa. He had friends from Germany.
Yeah.
I mean, people overseas reached out. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Not knowing and just hearing, half stories on the TV, because you
Yeah.
could have, you also had those critics. Well, they shouldn't have been doing this in a trap
Yeah.
house. Okay, I know. Probably I done been in the front of a trap house, but I ain't been in no trap house.
Yeah.
We've all done things that we regret
Mm-hmm.
or should not have done, or been in a position that I should not put myself in.
And none of those things warrant taking a
Right.
life.
Not unless I'm trying to take your life. If it was
Yeah.
self-defense, I could see that, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was nothing but greed, envy, and jealousy.
That's hard. What does the word healing mean to you?
That's a hard one, Andre. I don't know that I have. I'm not healed.
Mm-hmm.
I am continually healing.
Mm-hmm.
I still have not hatred in my heart for the individuals, but I have hatred in my heart for their actions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be straightforward. I write them. I don't write them anything negative or evil, but I keep it on their mind. I let them know what happened on December 18th. I let them know that Stephen has a son. I let them know what his sister is going through. I let them know they can celebrate their birthday. Stephen can't. So there's not hatred as far as the person, it's hatred in their actions. Now, what I will tell you that I strongly dislike is the parents of these young men that condoned it. And I'm talking about there's two mothers, because one defendant, his mother had passed away, and his dad is incarcerated. So I'm not gonna speak on his mother being deceased. Bless her soul. She didn't have to go through this, but those other two, I could tell you today and be honest with you, if I run into them, because one of them already called the police on me, I will. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. She might as well go and call the police.
We don't want you to do that.
I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
I'm just being honest.
I understand.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it,
I hear
because,
you.
hey, I am who I am.
Yeah. And he's still working on you.
He still is. And, it depends.
He's still working on you.
The day she caught me, like I was minding my own business.
Yeah.
And you just outright, hey, Miss Cooks.
Yeah. One of the mothers received 10 years deferred adjudication for aiding and abetting,
Right.
harboring a fugitive. Wow.
That's the mother that saw me, that called the police on me. That's Ursula Medlock Coquit. That's
Wow.
Daryl Dotson mom. So with her, just say, let's back up to this Sunday. Let's go back to this Sunday.
Yeah.
Because as the story develops, we start finding out who's at this house and who was, doing what. So I reached out to her through Facebook and asked her, about her son. Has she seen him, heard from him, this, that, and the third? And she was like, no, we looking for him. We think he, his life may be in danger, giving me the whole motherly love thing. This might have been that Monday, because this happened on a Sunday. So by the time I inboxed her, she already knew her son had killed these boys.
Wow.
Because Daryl went home that Sunday. He sat on the couch with his stepfather watching the news.
Wow.
And he said, man, that's messed up what they did to them boys. Knowing he did this.
Wow.
He dumped their bodies a block away from his grandmother's house.
Wow.
So her concern as a mother turned from concern to hatred towards me,
Wow.
or picking towards me, and then it was, another godly thing, and then it was another. It was all over the board. When I clearly could see she knew and had something to do with it. And I told her Detective Thomas, I said, you gonna charge her. And that's exactly what he did.
Yeah. Thank God. I was reading an article where it was saying that they were taunting you, that they left a gas can in front of the makeshift memorial that was at the school that the children had placed in front of the school. Wow.
Well, it was at it's actually a field
Uh-huh.
on Glen Oaks, and I can't think of the cross street right now, but they did leave some gas cans right there. There was some messages going back and forth between Daryl Dotson and myself and my daughter and a couple other people.
Wow.
The sister of Daryl Dotson, Jasmine, told me, well, if he was going to hell, he was already burnt up.
Oh wow.
So you deal with people that are idiots.
Mm-hmm.
They're idiots. They weren't brought up in a loving household. If your child is setting grass on fire in front of your house or setting teachers' cars on fire at Carter High School, there's something wrong with that child.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we dealt with a lot of stuff that was just plain out stupid. But I could never get anybody to meet me on an address or anything like that. Seriously, like...
Let's talk about, fire. Your son and the other young man were burnt up in his car, in Steven's car. How were you able to get through the funeral, not being able to see your child? You couldn't identify him. You had to bring dental records. How were you able to?
With Steven, I know when we were doing the arrangements and everything like that, we're at the funeral home, and the only thing that was left was Steven, because he had on his purple Lincoln jogging pants. It was a patch of Lincoln that was left. So, we're making arrangements. I said, well, I'm going to go up to Dillard's and go buy Steven something to wear. So I get to the front door, and the gentleman that's helping us with the arrangements, he said, Sheila, hold on a second. Because I'm not knowing, because I hadn't looked at anybody. I'm just taking dental records.
Yeah.
So I'm out of my mind at this point because I'm not thinking. I'm thinking I'm finna go get my son something to wear, make him look presentable for the funeral. And then all of a sudden, no, you can't. We don't even have to embalm him. So there's no embalming, there's no dressing, there's no nothing. Basically, the coffin is empty. So there's nothing. So when you say, as far as burying a child, there's nothing out there at Lincoln Memorial.
Just an empty box.
It's just an empty box. Now, I do go put flowers out there, but that's not where my son is. My son is not there.
Just a memorial.
That's it. That's all. And to this day, I have not read the medical examiner's records. I will not. I've let some of his friends have wanted to read it. They've read it. I won't read it.
Do you think that there was anything, as a mother, anything that you could have done different? Or do you sometimes feel that you wanted to do something different in regards to both of your children?
The only thing that I could do different, and Bria asks me this all the time, because I'm from California. She was like, Mom, why you didn't take us back and raise us in California? California's tough.
Yeah.
But I did go to school in a place called Lake Elsinore. I could have took my kids back, but at the time, I'm here, I have family here, my dad's here. It was just not the right time and place. Now, if I had made that choice, who's to say it wouldn't have happened out there?
Yeah.
Because everything is already written to happen, and I'm a firm believer in that. It's already written to happen. It's just a day and time. Now, do we have choices? Yes, we have choices.
Yeah.
That day, did Steve have a choice to go to that house or not? Yes, he had a choice.
Yeah.
But he made that choice to go to that house. So now we are here. So now I have choices that I have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. So it is a very difficult position to be in. And since 2011, I know we have lost a lot of young men,
Yeah.
each different circumstances. Like I said, every mom's relationship is going to be different.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the only advice when people ask me, I can't give you any advice. The only thing I tell you now, time does not heal.
Yeah.
You learn to deal with that void. And if you know God, if you don't know him, you got to get to know him.
Yeah.
Because that's the only sanity I have.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of positive people in my life.
Yes.
I always have, whether it be co-workers,
Mm-hmm.
friends,
Mm-hmm.
family. I have a lot of positive. I have more positive than negative.
Mm-hmm.
And I take each one of those people and I've learned something from them.
Mm-hmm.
Just as you say, you learn from me.
Yeah.
I never want to hold somebody, here.
Mm-hmm.
You always want to elevate.
That's right.
And with that being said, Davis Chapel was my church home. Pastor Robinson was my pastor prior to him passing. And then I started attending Antioch.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, over the years, you meet so many different people.
Yeah.
Just in the business that we're in. It could be somebody at the corner store.
Yeah.
So just having God first is the best thing. And I'm not perfect by a long shot. I still fall short just like everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So if you see me out, I might be, and at one point I say, why am I smiling? I ain't supposed to be smiling.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm supposed to be at home crying.
Mm.
My son ain't got killed. What people gonna think?
Mm.
I don't care what they think.
Yeah.
I don't care what they think they know.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't know what I got going on in here.
That's right.
You don't know my relationship with God. If you see me out and I'm drinking Patron, let me drink my Patron.
Yeah. That's right. Mm-hmm.
So,
I'm gonna read something. This is a text message that I sent you, and it was May 12th of this year. It was 1:00 in the morning, and I didn't even realize it was 1:00 in the morning. But it was 1:00 in the morning. Like I said, I know you. I never lose a number. If I know your number's still the same, and I'm gonna use it whenever I see fit to use it. And so I text you. I said I never saw the first 48 for Steven. Seeing you hurt like that is really taking me down. I love you so much. Thank you for everything you have been to me. I wouldn't be who or where I am in life right now if you had not been a part of my life. I'm always praying that God continue to bless you and keep you beautiful. Sorry, it's so late. That was this year in May. I was watching First 48 is my favorite television show. I was watching it and I didn't even realize, because I had never seen it before. I did not realize that I was watching my friend and watching a little boy that I would pick from school.
Yeah.
Watching somebody that I know, and it hurts so bad. I'm sorry I text you so late in the morning, but it hurts so bad. Seeing you hurt that way was hard. It was very, very hard for me. And I'm sure it was hard for a lot of people. And I felt so bad. That's why I asked you the question, what do you think, people could have done better to be there for you more? Like I said, seeing you hurt that way was very, hurtful for me and lots of other people. Seeing you today, beautiful you today, is very healing for me and probably for other people too. So I wanted to read that because you were saying, why am I smiling? Please keep smiling. Please continue to keep smiling. And I know that Stephen would really enjoy that. He look down from heaven and see his mother smiling. Because I
Right.
know one thing, that he did love you a lot.
I heard.
He loved his mama a lot. I know that to be true. Wow. That was another question that I had. Oh no. What is the what is life like for you today? And how has life changed for you?
Life as I knew it before is very different. Or
Mhm.
life what I thought was before was very different.
Mhm.
Um, I have retired 3 times
Wow.
since that happened. Got bored and went back to work.
Mhm.
The only thing I can tell you, I take it day to day.
Mhm.
I have Bria, I have Zarian, I have Blaze, and I have my husband Rodney.
Mhm.
And I have to keep going for them.
Yeah.
If I'm not well enough or strong enough to keep going, then who does Bria look up to?
Mhm.
Who does Zarian have to depend on or look up to? I know he does have his mother in his life, but for some reason I don't know why I feel like I have to play that daddy role.
Yeah.
It's like
That's your baby.
yes,
Mhm.
and my husband tell me to stand back. Look, I'm taking to get his haircut. I
Yeah.
said okay, because that's just the
When you look at your grandson and you see Steven, how does that make you feel?
oh my God. If I tell you he act like Steve,
Mm.
he's very quiet, nonchalant.
Yeah.
You won't even know he's in the house. He's a natural athlete, like his dad.
Just like his dad.
He
Except
prefers
he plays football. Yeah.
He prefers football. He's very tough.
Mhm.
He can take some hits.
Yeah.
He can give them, and he's fast.
Mhm.
He's fast. His dad ran track also. He's pretty fast. He's a left-hander. Actually uses both, but he's dominant left.
Yeah.
So he's special.
Mhm.
He has a special place in my heart. Just like Bria's son has a special place in my heart.
Mhm.
He removed her from my heart. No, I'm just kidding. No,
That's your twin.
That is my twin. My twin. No.
Producer, can we get some pictures of the
That is
family
my twin.
up on the broadcast so that people can see this beautiful family? That'll be awesome. Yeah, so that is definitely your twin. Bria is such a beautiful girl. And then this is a picture of Steven. That's
This
a
is,
picture of Steven.
After one of his basketball games, and I always wondered what he was thinking about after that game. It just seems like he was just. I know it was a game that they won, but I don't know. Was he thinking, okay, maybe we could have did something different? What did we not do? But that it's a look that he has that I always wonder what was he thinking about. And that's
Yeah.
one of my favorite pictures of him.
And then this here is a picture of Bria and your new grandbaby. He's so handsome.
Miss Bria and Blaze.
Yeah.
I actually named him.
You named him?
I named him.
Oh wow.
Blaze.
And where did you get Blaze from?
See, I have this thing
Uh-huh.
about jobs
Uh-huh.
since we in this field.
Yeah.
So I Googled the name because her name is Bria
Mhm.
and his dad name starts with a B also. So they all wanted to stay with the B's.
Mhm.
So I Googled names that were really like uncommon.
Mhm.
Blaze is a common name over in England.
Mm.
So I said, okay, what about Blaze? She said, yeah. So she was trying to get something to go with Steve's name. Didn't work. So Steven had a friend, Sheldon.
Mhm.
Sheldon Earl. That's his name. And Sheldon got killed in 2015 in Lancaster. So Bria decided to name.
Yes, I remember that. That happened directly behind my mother's house at the
Right.
park. Mhm.
So Bria decided to name him Blaze Alexander,
Mhm.
which is after Sheldon.
Wow.
And so she wanted to, that was, it's funny when, it's not funny, but I find it so amazing how many kids you get,
Mhm.
how many brothers and sisters she gained
Yeah.
after this.
Yeah.
And it was Bria has Steven and Sheldon on her. Sheldon was one of Steven's best friends.
Mm-hmm.
Now he had many. Don't get me wrong, because
Yeah.
Steven was a person that until you did him wrong,
Mm-hmm.
he would love you for who you are.
That's right.
He really did. He loved you for who you are. He didn't judge you. He I know he had his ways. I know he didn't get along with everybody, but if you want to smile, or
Yep.
there's a video on YouTube.
He had a really infectious smile.
Yeah, it's a video on YouTube where he's at school. He didn't stop. Now he did steal the.
Oh, you talking
the
about the
camera.
dance video?
Yes.
I did see that where he was interviewing people.
Yes,
Yeah, I saw
having them do
that.
the dance. So, it was just he
saw
was
that.
a clown,
Mm-hmm.
a clown.
Yeah.
And so yes, I stayed in Lincoln a lot, but he graduated. Okay, he
Yeah.
graduated.
You can say that, and my mama can't.
And then we have Mr. Zarian.
Yeah, Zarian
Govan.
playing football.
Yes, and when I tell you he has a heart of gold,
Mm-hmm.
but when he's on that field, he tells me he's very shy.
Yeah.
I say, well, what, you're not shy on the field? He said, that's because I have my helmet on.
And they can't
I
see
said,
him.
okay. I said, okay, I'm good with
That's
that one.
good. That's a
I'm
good
with
one.
that one.
And this is one of Steven's senior pictures.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
One of those. He's smiling, but we argued the whole time. He didn't want to do senior pictures. He didn't want to do prom. He didn't want to do graduate. He didn't want to do nothing. But he
Yeah.
ran for prom king and just different stuff. He didn't want to do nothing, but he did it.
Yeah.
And I'm glad he did it, because now all those are memories to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And not only just me, to his dad, his grandmother, his grandfather is still living. And when I tell you, this is his graduation day right here.
Yeah.
So don't ask who that white lady is, because I get that joke all the time.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
When you look at Steven, looks just like his dad, like his granddad.
he
It's
does.
just all of them. So they have a very large, loving family. That last name speaks for itself in certain areas, but hey, they are a loving family. They've always been supportive ever since I've been in the family.
Mm-hmm.
They treat Bria like their own. And, hey, you can't, like I said, the only thing to do, Andre, is keep praying.
Yeah, keep praying.
Just keep praying.
We want to thank you so much for coming on to the worst day of the week and sharing your story with us. You look good. You look real good. It's amazing the things that people go through. You hear that saying all the time. You don't look like what you've been through or what you're going through, because this is something that you still live with daily. And I wouldn't be able to tell from looking at you. I really appreciate you coming onto the show. I do want to mention one thing. There is the Justice for Steven Foundation that I did a little research on about that. Tell me just a little bit about that and why you started it.
Initially, it was because we wanted justice for Steven. Just not Steven, but for Jonathan also. And people may not understand when I say this, okay? So we go to trial. They get their time.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we call justice here on earth.
Yeah.
Okay. What I just said maybe a week or so ago is that's not justice what we got.
Yeah.
That's mercy.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're still breathing. Our children are not.
Yeah.
So I have to live with, let God take care of that on his side.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's going to take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
With the foundation, I don't do a lot. I don't ask for donations.
Mm-hmm.
What I do is I do something when school starts. I pick certain amount of families that have kids, school-age kids, and I donate to them.
Okay.
Whether it's uniforms, backpacks, supplies.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't happen this year because of COVID. We didn't know what was going on, but in the prior years, yes. After Stephen passed, we have had a yearly picnic. We haven't had one in I think 2 years.
Okay.
But we normally have a picnic where everybody comes out. I mean, when I say everybody, I mean East Dallas, South Dallas, West Dallas, North Dallas. I mean everybody that
Yeah.
if he met you or you know somebody that knew him, the kids come out. They have bounce houses. We have little cars
Wow.
that they ride on. Just free food and stuff like that. So this coming year, if COVID allows us to do this, we're gonna do something a little different. We're still gonna have it. We are gonna have it around his birthday, which is April 25th. It will be a weekend event.
Wow.
One day will be for everybody, and then other days will be just strictly immediate family. But we will see what COVID does, and we'll go from there. But we will start that back up real soon. And, I really want to thank you because you did play a part in my kids' life. When I say, different people played a part, not only did you, my whole staff, when we worked together, even residents.
Yeah.
I can clearly see Mr. Willie, Miss Johnson.
And my man, Mr. Money.
Yeah, other residents that we had that if they saw my kids out, they had a right to say something if they were doing something wrong.
Yeah.
You would pick my kids up from school every day,
Mm-hmm.
and they didn't like it because Andre act up, but they loved you.
Yeah, I know.
And then I have to, Stephen's grandmother and my stepmother who has passed on, those two played a major role in my life.
Joyce? Oh, wow.
2010. Played a major role in my life. Still to this day, the things that I learned from them, I wouldn't be the woman that I'm still continuing to learning to be if it had not been for them.
Yeah.
And I can go on and on if we had time because there's so many people.
You got
to
all the
name.
time.
There's so many people to name.
Yeah.
But there is a light at the end of the tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
I can't speak for everybody else. Everybody gets to that point when they get to that point.
Yeah.
I have to.
What beauty have you found besides the peace? What beauty have you found in all of this? What is something?
I don't know that it's a beauty that I have found. One thing I have been able to keep is my sanity, whether it's with the prescription,
Yeah.
with the prescription, whether it's with a shot of Patron. But I keep my sanity, and I want to see my loved ones one day. I don't know what's on the other side. You hear different. You read in the Bible that you get to see your loved ones when you do pass away, if you go to heaven.
Yeah.
If I get to that other side and I just get to see those people that I've, lost, I'm good.
You're good.
I want to be able to reach that plateau that they have reached. I don't, I have to live for myself and
That's
make
beautiful.
sure that I get there. I can't do other things for other people to make them get there, and they can't make me get there. I have to get there on my own.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That is beautiful.
And just growth.
Yeah.
Growth. It's been 9 years, but I'll tell you, it does not get easier.
Yeah.
It does not. And I know I will mention Miss Kim, who's Jonathan's mom. We keep in touch, not as often as we should. And we did say me and his sister said we were going to do better. But there's that bond there.
Yeah.
And you just never know how people intertwine or, something like that. But seeing his grandmother,
That's fine.
his father, Mr. Wingfall, his sisters. Jonathan was raised in a good house, just like Stephen was. So I honestly believe we did our jobs. As mothers, of course, we question ourselves. What could we have done better? What could we have said differently?
Yeah.
I mean, we couldn't have locked them in the house. They grown.
Yeah.
But I can't speak on where Miss Kim is, but I mean, we're still a work in progress. Because we still hurt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we look at our other kids. We look at the grandkids we're having. We look at, you know, the boys that they had. And when we're raising them, it's a hard situation.
Yeah.
And nobody will understand that.
What would you say to the young kids out there? Because this has been 9 years for you, but this is recent for a mother. You know, just last weekend or last month or probably today. And what do you say to the young kids out there who are struggling to just stay on the right path? They're trusting people who they say that that's their friend, and it ends up not being their friend, or you know, just people that they run into, that they meet, that want to harm them, that they have no idea about. What would you say to your grandkids, your grandsons, and these young kids out here today who are going down these paths? They're taking these paths to
The best thing that, first and foremost,
mm-hmm.
get in church,
Mm-hmm.
get in the Word,
Mm-hmm.
get baptized, know who God is, know God's Son died for us.
Yeah.
The other thing is, you have so many people out here that are demonic people.
Yes.
And it's very hard to tell who those people are, because those people can be sitting right next to you.
Yeah.
And you may get a vibe, you may not. You may feel like they have your best interest.
Mm-hmm.
But at some point in time, focus on you.
Yeah.
Focus on what you want to do in life.
Mm-hmm.
If they're not going down the path that you want to see yourself going down, what you have foresaw, that you're foreseeing in the future for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
leave those people behind.
Yeah.
Leave them behind, because if you see yourself in 5 to 6 years being a doctor, and he's over here and he's, you know, just not doing anything, and I'm not knocking what anybody does, because you can be working at Williams and be a manager and make, you know, 6 figures, whatever.
Yeah.
But if this person is still hanging out and, you know, doing the whatever,
Mm-hmm.
if it's just not positive,
Yeah.
let that person go.
Wow. That's a positive. That's not a word that we use very often. People don't always think about the positive things, because there's so much negative and so much drama and so much other things. So many. So positive is not a word that you hear often when you're telling people do something positive. You know.
Well, you know, in the last 4 to 5 years, I've had to learn that.
Yeah.
Being over 40,
Mm-hmm.
because even my age group is not always positive. It's always something negative.
Yeah.
You know, let's do something positive.
Yeah.
If we're gonna do something positive, let's not turn around and then talk about
Yes.
somebody.
Oh
But
my
hey,
goodness.
let's not do that.
You said it right there.
So, you know, at some point you have to grow up.
Yes.
Sometimes you have to leave people where they are.
Mm-hmm.
You pick and choose your battles.
Yeah.
You pick and choose your choices.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's all I can say. If they're not positive, being a positive voice in your life, then leave them where they are. Because
awesome.
My positive might not be their positive. And they may feel like they're being positive, but I may feel a certain, you know, different way.
Yeah.
So if I don't feel like their positive is, you know, coinciding with mine, let me go ahead and leave them where they are.
That's awesome. That's something that I've been dealing with. I'm learning to do that and maneuver around and letting people go. So that's really good. Another thing that you said about going to church and getting the word. I remember when I was little, I grew up on Keystone Polk. A lot of people don't know that. I went to Jefferson Davis Elementary School and all of that good stuff. But there was a bus that used to come and pick the kids up and take them, and Mickey Mouse and all of them was at the church, you know. And I remember those times. Your grandmas and your aunties used to go and pick people up on Sunday morning and take them to church. Nobody doing that. They don't want such and such in their car now. You know, nobody is doing. We got to get back in that. That is something we got to do, people. You need to go pick up your nieces and your nephews and take them to church with you. You got to start doing that stuff again. I'm so glad you said that, because it's been on my mind and I haven't been able to really say it, because a lot of people don't want you to say that, you know. That's not the popular subject, you know. And so I'm glad you said that. That's really good.
And you know, let me tell you this. I remember, and my sister always tells me, because I'm 2 years older than her. She's in California. We lived in Inglewood on 104th.
Wow.
So we went to Crenshaw Christian Center. And anybody know Crenshaw Christian Center? And I cannot remember Pastor Price.
Yeah.
Price. They used to have a bus to come pick us up from the apartments. And I'll never forget, I had just started learning how to write, I guess kindergarten, first grade, whatever. And they said, who want to be baptized? I want to be baptized.
Yes.
We don't know nothing about baptism. You know, because mama just sent us to church to get us out her
Out
way.
of that.
So, you know, we go up there and we sign the papers. And I don't know if my sister remember, but I remember. Crenshaw Christian Center.
Yeah.
It's been around for a long time. So when you say rough neighborhoods, yes, Inglewood and 104th. My grandmother stayed on 78th, and my dad and him went to Fremont High School. So it's a lot of different, you know, I have classmates from California to here.
Yeah.
You know, so it's, like I said, all of them in some way have touched me in some type of way. So
that's amazing. Thank you so much for joining us on our show. Thank you so much. We're so happy that you joined us. My producer, you got to turn it up. Look at him. That's it, producer. Thank you so much, Miss Sheila Lowe, for coming on the show. Y'all, it's almost time to go. So you know what that means. It is...
What the what?
It's what the what time. What the what, Miss Sheila, is when we take all of those funny, positive, negative, thought-provoking things that we see on the internet, on Facebook, on Instagram, on the Twitter, all of those different things, and you know, and we I share them on the show, because a lot of times, you know, you run across stuff and you be like, oh, that was funny, everybody needs to hear it, or oh, that was very good, you know, somebody needs to hear that message. And so this is the time where we do that. So I have a few things in my phone. I ain't got my glasses on. Let's see. Nina says that if having sex for money makes you a hoe, does having sex for free make you a non-profit organization? That was funny. Y'all don't think that was funny? Oh my goodness.
Okay. Good point.
My wife came home from Walmart complaining about the cashier being a royal pain in the ass. I asked her if she was at the self-checkout line, and that's how the fight started. Some people think that because they don't support you, that it will hold you back. Let me just tell you, God will put total strangers in your path to get you where you're supposed to be. Stop waiting on your family and your friends. I had to learn this. I'm talking to Andre, y'all. Stop waiting on people to support you. Stop waiting on people to watch you. Stop waiting on people to give to your cause. Give to your own cause. Support yourself. God send all of the right people in your path to do and give you exactly what you need. And I'm a witness to that. So that's what I'm saying. I'm talking to myself. I'm using an I statement. I'm talking about me right there. Okay. When I saw that, I said, wow, that's good. When I'm returning somebody's call, I get mad when they answer the phone. Baby daddies always posting who want to chill. Bruh, your kids. Fellas, be careful. I gave my lady a kiss and she had on one of those clear facial masks, and now my lips are tingling. You've been warned. Thank me later. Oh my goodness. Kennedy says that I hate having pending payments. Amazon, take this money so I can begin my healing process. Broke on Christmas. If you don't get excited about your friend's success, then you're not their friend. I'm going to say that one more time. If you don't get excited about your friend's success, then you're not their friend. Just go on and move around. Remove yourself sometimes so people can go on with their lives. Sometimes you just need to take yourself out of the equation. If your friend is doing something good and your friend is doing something positive, and your friend is accomplishing goals, and you're not excited and you're not happy and you're not supporting them, then just just quietly exit expeditiously to the left, not to the right, to the left. Go to the left. You exit stage right. That's the good side. Then you need to go to the left. Okay. Stop leaving out the part of the story where you messed up. I used to do that all the time. I used to leave out the part that was the good part too. With the part I did, I used to leave out the good part and I would only tell the bad part. The good part is where you tell where you did something and where you messed up. So we have to start paying attention and really being honest with people and honest with ourselves so that, we can be better people. One day you'll find someone that's obsessed with you. It's probably going to be a dog, but hey, it is what it is. Y'all, that is all my what the whats. I want to say thank you so much to my guest, Miss Sheila. And I want to say thank you to my producers. I want to say thank you. Today's show was the producer had to give himself a hand. Oh, another hand. The producer something else. Remember, y'all, the sound was not on at the beginning of the video. And then, oh yeah, you don't want to talk about that, producer? Well, that's all the time we have, y'all. Want to say thank you again for tuning in. And you can catch us each and every Monday live right here on the worst day of the week, live at 7:00, live on Facebook, live on YouTube. We live, we all the way live. Ooh, I just love saying live. I'm alive, and y'all need to watch this live. And if you need a worst day of the week shirt, then just hit me up. Holla at your boy producer. You know what to do.
Worst day of